Hey folks, Bill Armstrong here. In this screencast, I'm going to go over everything you need to do to be successful in the course, as well as highlight MyMathLab. So here, this is the first page that you'll see when you log into MyMathLab. Now, if yours looks a little different than mine, keep in mind that, since I'm the instructor, I see different things. Like you might not see all the stuff that's listed over here in the left-hand frame, so don't worry about that. First thing we're going to look at is the tab over here in the left-hand frame called Course Information. So let me click on that. Okay, here in the Course Information area, there are a few items that I do want you to print out and have a hard copy of. I'd like you to click on Course Syllabus and print that out. The Academic Calendar, print that out. You might want to print out the online orientation. You will want to have a hard copy of the protocol for sending email. And you'll want to print out and have a hard copy of the list of homework to practice exercises. These are the exercises in the e-text. But I'm going to go over some of these right now. First thing I'm going to go over is the course syllabus. Notice that there's something very important in the course syllabus. So let me click on the course syllabus, and again, please print this out so you have a hard copy on hand. See important stuff that I'm going to highlight. I'm not going to go through and read everything because, that's something for you to print out and read on your own. But the first thing is my email address. Folks, this is my email address. This is the address you need to use so I can receive my email. Way too often I have students not using the correct email address. I can't reply to an email if you don't use the correct email address. I will reply to email in a timely fashion, usually no later than 24 hours. So if you send me an email and I don't reply to it within, say, 24 hours, it's because you've used the wrong email address. My office is located in B3056. My office phone number is 525-7415. You see here my office hours. These are hours that I'm in my office. If you're on campus during those times, you can stop by anytime during my office hours. You don't need to make an appointment. Just stop on by anytime during these posted office hours. Let's see, prerequisites. You can read that. Required course material. Well, it's the MyMathLab. That's where we're at right now. It's what we use for the content delivery. You should have a graphing calculator. Grading. Let's talk about how your grades will be determined. The grade you earned will be determined based on a total of 600 points. And then I'm going to show you as we go through here what comprises those 600 points. But first things first, there will be 3 tests worth 120 points each given throughout the semester. Now, in accordance with the Lakeland Mathematics Department policy, all tests must be proctored. Tests are taken in the testing center at Lakeland, and these tests can be completed on any day the testing center is open, up to and including the deadline dates that are shown on the academic calendar. And we'll look at the academic calendar here in a minute. Test questions are going to be free response style. They're going to be very similar to the homework practice problems that you'll find in the e-text. It'll also be very similar to the practice tests that I will make available. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So you see here in Table 1, I show what each test covers. So Test 1 will cover the assigned sections from weeks 1 through 3, and that will correspond with Section 1.9, Sections 2.1 through 2.4, and Sections 3.1 through 3.4. So you can see the test coverage for each test. Now, when you take a test, when you show up at the test center at Lakeland to take a test, make sure you have a photo ID and a pencil on your graphing calculator. They can't give you a test in the test center if you don't show a photo ID. So either your Lakeland ID or a driver's license. Any notes, textbooks, formula cards, cheat sheets, etc. will not be allowed during the tests. There's a few more items you can read about test notes. I have listed here on the syllabus the hours for the test center. So notice the test center is pretty much open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and they are closed on Sunday. I have a note here about testing policies, and again, tests are taken in the testing center at Lakeland on any day up to and including the deadlines that are listed on the academic calendar. No extensions on tests or even the online quizzes. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And you can read through the rest of the testing policies. The next item that will comprise those 600 points I mentioned earlier are the online quizzes. So you're going to have weekly online quizzes. During weeks when you do not have a test, there will be a total of 12 online quizzes. They're going to be worth 10 points each. Each online quiz will be due on the Sunday that it is assigned, and it's due at 11:55 p.m. Online quizzes must be completed in one session. So say it's a Friday and you start to take an online quiz. Once you start to take the online quiz, you must complete it. It doesn't matter if it takes you an hour and a half, you must complete it. And each online quiz can be repeated up to 3 times maximum. So that means if you do, say, a quiz on Friday and you score a 6 out of 10, you could take it again. You have a total of 3 times to take the quiz to improve your score. And then the final 120 points will be the final exam. So you see here the point distribution. You have 3 tests at 120 points each, 12 quizzes at 10 points each, and the final exam is 120 points. That's the total of 600 points. In Table 3, I do show you the scale that I use to determine the final grade that you will earn. Now, when I assign course grades, or the grade that you earn, it's going to be according to the grading scale that was just shown there in Table 3. Course grades are determined only by your tests, the final exam, and online quiz scores. There's no homework, or reading assignments, anything like that. That's all that determines your final grade. The online quiz scores, tests, and final exam. Now, if you want to do well on the quizzes and the tests and the final exam, you will do the homework. But those are the only 3 items that will determine your final grade. Some general course tips. Again, the homework to practice exercises are not collected. The online quizzes, the 3 tests, and the final exam are going to have problems similar to these homework to practice exercises. So completing the section by section homework to practice exercises is probably the single most important element for success in the course. I also believe keeping up with the assigned sections and the associated exercises is really important. Don't let it build up. Don't wait until Sunday morning to try to do everything that you should have been working on during the week. Keep up with the material over the course of the week. Again, if you have a math-related question, don't hesitate to send me an email. And again, there's my email address. It's the second time I've highlighted what my email address is. Before sending me an email, please read the protocol for sending email that's in the course information area, and I will go over that in a minute. Please keep in mind it's a self-directed course. So if you don't have the time or the proficiency or inclination to learn the material in a self-directed manner, you may want to take the traditional in-class course instead. On the actual learning of the course material, over the 10 plus years that I've been doing online mathematics courses, I've kind of seen this process here. I call it the 4-step cycle of learning to be successful in the online class. So the first thing, so step 1 is, you begin each section by logging into the MyMathLab site, and you'll select the assigned chapter and section that you need to look at. Read the e-text for the assigned section. And we'll look at the e-text here in a moment. While you're reading the e-text, you will notice there are links to videos and animations done by the author of the book. His name's Kirk Trigstead. Watching these videos and animations, you may find them to be beneficial to help you with the concept at hand, the example, or to help you, attack the practice homework exercises. For many sections, I will supply a link to a YouTube video I made highlighting the material in this section, and that will give you even more examples to look at. Now, so step 2, while you're reading the assigned section of the e-text, after an example, frequently you will find these things called you try it practice problems. So you may want to do these you try it exercises because these exercises are meant to reinforce the concept and skills just presented in an example. So it's like an immediate practice of the concepts that you would have just seen in the example. Once you get through the entire section, then you try the practice exercises at the end of the section. These exercises, again, they don't count for a grade, but it does reinforce the ideas presented in the section, and that in turn will help prepare you for the quizzes and the tests. Once you've completed all of the sections for a week, then you're ready to do the online quiz. So you'll go to the online quiz area and do the weekly quiz. Now, the online quizzes do count for your grade. They are part of your grade. And remember, you have a maximum of 3 times that you can take an online quiz. And, well, the acknowledgement of the syllabus statement, I think that's something pretty important for you to know right there. All right, so I'm going to close the syllabus and we'll go back to the course information tab. So here in the course information tab, let's now take a quick look at the academic calendar. So let me click on that. Keep in mind this is something else that I suggest you print to have a hard copy of. So on the academic calendar, what you'll notice, is for each week what we should be doing. So week 1, we're going to cover 4 sections, sections 1.9, 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. And then I've denoted on Sunday, January 19th, is the deadline to complete quiz 1. And you'll see this, the academic calendar has assignments for the week and deadline dates. So if we come down to week 4, I have in week 4, we should just be getting ready for the tests. So I call that test preparation week. And notice the deadline to complete test 1 is Saturday, February 8th. So you can take test 1 any day up to and including the deadline date. So if you feel you're ready to take test 1 on February 5th, Wednesday, February 5th, it'll be in the test center ready for you to show up and take it. But the last day you can take test 1 is Saturday, February 8th. I will also point out the deadline for test 2 is Friday, March 6th, and that's due to spring break. So Friday, March 6th is the deadline for test 2. I'll also point out that the deadline for test 3 is April 11th. That's a Saturday. And the deadline for the final exam is Wednesday, May 6th. Also on the academic calendar, I kind of repeat myself here, but that's okay. I have a table showing each quiz and the sections covered on each quiz. And for each test, the sections covered for each test. I know this was included in the syllabus, but it doesn't hurt to see it more than once. So that's the academic calendar. So again, please print this out and have a hard copy. It has all the deadline dates. Deadline dates are really important, folks. So I'm going to close the academic calendar, and I'm back in the course information tab. So let's look at the online orientation. In the online orientation, notice I do mention again some documents to have in hand. So that means documents that you should print out. The course syllabus, the academic calendar, the homework to practice exercises, and the protocol for sending email. I've already pointed these items out to you in the course information area, but it's mentioned again to have a hard copy in hand. Keeping up to date. Well, up-to-date class information, I'm going to post it weekly in the announcements area of the MyMathLab class website. So in the announcements area, for my weekly announcements, I will remind you of weekly section coverage. I will remind you of the homework problems you should be practicing. I will also remind you of any due dates. And I'll also notify you when test preparation tabs are available. I will post these weekly announcements on Sunday morning, and it'll be for the upcoming week. So ways to get help. So if you're having difficulties with the homework exercises, probably the primary way to get help is to email me. Again, there's my email address. I believe that's the third time I've pointed out my email address. So, you have a question, send me an email. You can also go to the Math in Minutes table, which is located in the Mathematics Resource Center, and that's in room C3075. So in the Math Resource Center, you'll find tutors there that can help you on the spot, and there's no cost for this service. You can also contact the Tutoring Center at Lakeland to have a personal appointment with a tutor, and this is at no cost as well. So a reminder on taking the test. There are 3 tests and a final exam. They're in the Lakeland Testing Center. Dates, you'll find dates on the academic calendar. During the week of a test, I will open up a test preparation tab that will include a study guide for the test and a practice test. We'll look at one of those here in a minute to show you everything that will be available. And again, it's the policy of the mathematics department at Lakeland that all tests and exams be proctored. Now, the best way to prepare for tests and the final exam and the online quizzes is to complete the homework to practice exercises at the end of each section. Quick reminder on online quizzes. They're due each Sunday at 11:55. Those will be during weeks when there is not a test. There are 12 online quizzes worth 10 points each. Each quiz will have a maximum of 3 attempts. And again, once you begin an online quiz, you must complete it in its entirety. So that's your online orientation. So I'm going to close that. We're back here to the course information area. Let's look at the protocol for sending email. So let me click on that. And this is something else you should print out and have a hard copy of. I say that the protocol for sending email for an online course is different than sending ordinary conversational email. Well, that's probably true for any course, not just an online course. Anytime you're going to send a professor an email. Which, by the way, about email, you should get into the habit of checking your Lakeland email at least once a day. So the first thing I have here on protocol for sending email is my email address. So there it is again. So I think that's the 4th time now I've indicated my Lakeland email address. I ask you to please use your Lakeland email account when sending me an email. Your Lakeland email, that interface, it allows me to recognize immediately that I've received an email from a student simply based on the email address. if I receive an email from sleekdime@gmail.com, that's your personal email address, I don't know that that is one of my students. I may not recognize it, and it may, a personal email may get sent into a junk folder. So please just use your Lakeland email account. I would ask you to please identify yourself. So if you could start off your email with a sentence such as, hi, I am June Johnson, and I'm a student in your Math 1650 College Algebra online course. That helps me tremendously. It saves me a lot of time and energy in trying to figure out the rest of the email. So if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Number 4, allow time for a reply. I do respond to email each day. You will receive a response from me within 24 hours. So if you send me an email at 10 a.m. and I haven't replied to it by 11 a.m., sending me another email at 11 a.m. isn't going to, cause me to suddenly reply to it. As soon as I see your email, I will reply to it. So I can guarantee it will be within 24 hours. The only exception could be if you send one late at night on a weekend. Then it might not be an immediate response within 24 hours. But I can say it should be within 1 day. You can read about being cognizant of your writing tone. Use words and sentences, no abbreviations that people would do maybe in texting. State your question clearly and completely. And, tips for entering mathematics in email. Well, this has been it's still an ongoing challenge on, how to write math in email. I can say this, that over the years, we do figure it out. You figure out how to communicate to me, the mathematics, and then I respond in kind. So it may take a little bit more doing, a little bit more thought, but we'll figure it out. And that's your protocol for sending email. So again, print this out, have a hard copy on hand. So I'm going to close that, come back to the Course Information tab. The list of homework to practice exercises. This is another document that I suggest printing and having a hard copy on hand. It shows for each section the homework that you should be doing. So for example, section 2.4, the homework will start on e-text screen 2.4-16. And I have listed here, you should do 1 through 15 odd. Section 5.2 starts on e-text screen 5.2-24, and I say these are the problems that you should practice. So this is for every section that we will cover over the course of the semester. So please print this out and have a copy on hand. And then finally, the e-text homework to practice exercise answers. So all those exercises that I have indicated you should do, here are the answers. Okay, now this is a document I am not suggesting you print out and have a hard copy on hand because, well, it's 52 pages. I can tell you what I would do if I were a student. When I'm in the e-text and I'm doing the homework, I would just open this up. It opens in a new tab so that when I'm in, let me just scroll down. When I'm in section 3.4, I could be doing my homework for section 3.4, and then I could just click over to this tab to see if I got number 13 correct or if I got number 9 correct. But that's where you will have answers to the end of section exercises. So that's everything in the Course Information tab. The course syllabus, print out and have a hard copy. Again, note there's something important in the course syllabus. The academic calendar, print out and have a hard copy of that on hand. It shows all deadline dates for the semester. your online orientation, the protocol for sending email, print that out and have a hard copy on hand. List of homework to practice exercises, print that out and have a hard copy on hand. These show you the exercises to do at the end of each section in the e-text. And your e-text, the answers to the practice exercises. So coming back over here, next, you know what? Let's go to the announcements. These are the weekly announcements. And again, you probably won't see all this. I just have placeholders for the weekly announcements. But we can look at the week 1 announcements. So I'm going to click on this. So every Sunday, I'm going to put a new weekly announcement in here, and I suggest you check it out. So when we click on the week 1 announcements, the first thing we see is, well, first I start this one off with a welcome, kind of reiterating what we just went over. So reminding you that in the course information tab, there are some things you should print out and have hard copy of. One of them is the syllabus. Once again, there's something mentioned here that's important in the syllabus. But here's where a typical weekly announcement would start. So week 1 announcement, I define the week to go from Monday to Sunday. And in this weekly announcement, I say, pretty much for the 4 sections that we're covering this week, I have a link for a YouTube video I made, kind of highlighting, the material in the section. So following the directions, it says right-click on the link and open in a new tab. So let me just right-click on the Polynomial and Rational Inequalities video. This matches up with section 1.9, and it should open it in a new tab. And click play. All right, folks, we're going to look at how to solve some polynomial inequalities and rational inequalities. Okay, let me pause that. So this is reinforcing the material that you're going to be learning in section 1.9. I kind of focus on the really important stuff in my videos. This is me, and I'm going to be showing you how to do this. That's something that you'll see in the e-text. That's enough on one of my videos. So you'll see I have a video for all 4 sections that will be covered this week. I do say here, you should, read the e-text section, view the videos and animations for these 4 sections. We'll look at the e-text in a moment. Do the e-text practice exercises. They're for practice only. You're not handing in homework problems. These exercises, the end of section exercises, are to help you understand the course material so you can do better on the online quizzes and the tests. And then I've listed here for each section the exercises you should be doing and what e-text screen they start on. That's something that, it's in a document you've already printed out. I'm just giving a reminder of it in my weekly announcement. And then the other reminder I give in the weekly announcement are due dates. So I'm reminding you online quiz. It's on the online quiz area. You can take it up to 3 times. Deadline is Sunday, January 19th at 11:55 p.m. So these are reminders. Everything that you should already be aware of, but it doesn't hurt to have a reminder. So that's a typical weekly announcement. Again, we come back to the main menu. Again, that will be found in the announcements area. So every Sunday morning, a new announcement will be posted. All right, so we've gone over the announcements, course information. I'm going to save the e-text for a little bit later. Let's look at the online quiz tab. So if I click on the online quiz tab, all the online quizzes they're ready to go. You also notice over here it shows you the due date for the online quizzes. So that's like another reminder. So when you're ready to do an online quiz, you'll just click on online quizzes You'll click on online quiz, and you'll be ready to go. I do have to point out, when you take a quiz, it's very, very, very important that you follow the directions exactly. Especially on giving answers, follow the directions exactly. For example, if the directions say to express a fraction in reduced terms or in lowest terms, and you put down the answer, you type in an answer of 3/6, 3/6. That will be marked wrong because 3/6 is not in lowest terms. The correct answer will be 1/2. So please follow the directions exactly when doing online quizzes. Let's see, the next thing, well, let's check out the grade book. Folks, you should always know where you stand in the class. You can always check the grade book. I mean, as soon as you take a test and I grade the test, I will record your test score here at MyMathLab. So it will always show you what your percent is in the class. So you should always know where you stand in the class by looking at the grade book. Hey, let's look at one of these preparation tabs for a test. As I said, week of a test or a week before a test is due, I will open a test preparation tab. And so in here for the test 1 preparation, I have a study guide for test 1, a practice test, some answers, not to every item, but to most items for the practice test, and worked out solutions. So let's quickly look at what the study guide is for test 1. So I have some reminder stuff up here for you, but I really focus in on problems that you should have done already for homework, that you need to really focus on even more to get ready for the test. So for example, I'm saying in section 2.2, the exercises begin on e-text screen 2.2-15. You should really, really focus on knowing how to do numbers 1, 3, and 5. And that will be a small subset of the exercises that I would have suggested you do for section 2.2. So that's a study guide. Let's open this. Here's a practice test. So you maybe print out the practice test and take it on other paper, but you'll see this should give you a good idea of what the test will look like. This practice test, I have 12 items on here, so this will give you a good idea of what you will see when you take the actual test. Answers to the practice test, again, answers for most items, not necessarily all of them. Like I don't have an answer here for number 5, but it's an answer for most of them. And then solutions. So, this is a video I made showing like worked out solutions for some of the items on the practice test. Most of the items on practice test 1. So this is number 1 on the practice test. You have the answer for it, but if you wanted to see a worked out solution, I'll do a worked out solution in this video. So that's a typical test preparation folder, and I'll do that for test 2, test 3, as well as the final exam. I'll let you look at that to see if you would find that to be beneficial. See tools for success. You may want to look at how do I enter answers. There's also a graphing calculator reference card in here. Let's come back now and let's focus on the e-text. So let me click on read e-text, and I'll click on this. Takes just a little bit of time for the e-text to open. All right, so it automatically starts you here at like the very first chapter. But if we click over here on the menu, this will show you the table of contents. We don't do anything from chapter R. So let me expand chapter 1 so you can see the sections in chapter 1. That's the first section that we will do, section 1.9. But I'm going to look at something in chapter 2. I'm going to go to section 2.3. So I click on 2.3. And, once I get the section open, I mean, this is just me, I'm going to close that. I'm going to collapse that. I don't need to see the table of contents. So this is eText screen 2.3-1. Over here, this arrow will allow me to go to the next page, if you will. So let me just kind of get to eText screen 2.3-3. And the first thing I'm going to point out is that it looks like a typical textbook. You can read, there are figures. But this icon right here, it's a video kind of explaining this concept for this objective. So let me click on this. And I'll come down here and click play.
In this chapter, we are going to work extensively with the
That's
equation
the author
of
of the book.
Now, before we do that, it's important that we understand slope. Let's have a look. So the first thing we want to do is we want to talk about the slope of a line.
I'm going to pause it. I'm going to close it. I just wanted to show you, that there was a video there. So you read, if you want, watch the video, go to the next page. And the next page, there's a definition. So this is something that if you were in the classroom, this would probably be written on the board. So maybe you want to put that into your, notes. You should take notes as you're going through the eText. This icon here, it's called a guided visualization. So let me just click on this and show you what a guided visualization is. So it says select the red coordinate points to move the line and change the slope. Select different display options to give additional information about the slope of the line. So let's see. Okay, integer coordinates. That means the x and y coordinates will just be friendly integers. So let me click on, show me the slope. So it's telling me the slope of that line is 9/7. And let me also click on show the slope formula. So this is a formula that you will see in the book. And then if I want, I can come over here. Let me kind of take this point. I'm going to click on it. And I'm just going to drag down to there. And notice how the slope of the line changed. I could click on this one, move it up. Notice the slope. So it's telling you the slope of the line as you change, how the slope of the line changes. So I'm at the point -5.6. And over here I'm at the point 2.3. The slope of the line, as computed by, the slope formula, is -3/7. So, I'm going to close that now. That's what one of these icons means. It's a guided visualization. It's kind of a cool feature. So let me go to the next page. So, eText screen 2.3-5. So here's example 1. Example 1, finding slope of a line that passes through the indicated ordered pairs. So there are 3 parts, and you see all 3 parts here. And if you want, there's an icon here, a video icon. So I bet if I click on that, the author's going to be working these out. Let's see.
In this video, we're going to determine the slope of a line given 2 ordered pairs. So we want to find the slope of the line that passes through the indicated ordered pairs. So in part A, we have the ordered pair 6, -4. And
I'm going to pause that. Okay, let me close it. But, the example, it has a video solution as well, which is kind of nice. So you can read the solution or you could look at the video solution. Also notice at the end or right after this example, there's one of those you try it that I mentioned in my 4-step cycle of learning. So if you click on that, it should give you some immediate practice on the concept that was just in the example. So find the slope of the line containing the pair of points 2, -2 and 7, 11. Select the correct choice below. Fill in the box. Okay, so look, simplify your answer. Type an integer or a fraction. So these are the directions I was talking about that you will see on your online quizzes. So, let's come over here. I'm just going to type something in. Let me type this in and see what it says. Negative. And then I click down here, give me the fraction. So let's do negative 23 over 5. All right, now let's check my answer. It should tell me I didn't do it right. But notice I didn't do, and this is one of the you try it exercises. So make sure your answer is in lowest terms. So it's kind of reminded me, hey, maybe I made a subtraction error somewhere. Try it again. So if I try it again, I would say, well, maybe it was positive 23 over 5. Oh, that's what it was. So I did have a careless sign mistake. And then I can click OK because it told me well done. If I wanted to practice another one, I could click similar question. So that's what the you try it's, would be. So let me close that. Kind of a nice little feature, part of my cycle of learning. And I'm not going to click through page by page to get to the exercises, because I believe here the exercises started on 2.3-28. So I can come up here and type that in, hit enter, and it'll take me right to the exercises. By the way, this is the button if I wanted to go back a page. These aren't part of the exercises that I have in the exercises you should practice. So I say the exercises that you should practice for homework start on eText screen 2.3-28. And whatever I had indicated, this is where the exercises would begin. So maybe you do number 1 and remember where the answers are for these exercises. They're in the course information tab. So that's it for the e-text. I think I've shown you all the important highlights of the e-text. So to kind of wrap up this video, here's the course homepage, and here's where you will find the weekly announcements. So let me click on that. So you'll come in here each week and look at the current weekly announcement. Let me go back to the main menu. Course information tab. Important information here. The course syllabus, print it out and have a hard copy. Something really important. It's in the syllabus. Academic calendar, print that out and have a hard copy. It shows all due dates for quizzes and tests for the semester. Your online orientation, protocol for sending email, list of homework to practice exercises that are at the end of each section in the e-text. And there's the answers for those practice exercises. Online quizzes, this is where you'll go, click, start a quiz. Gradebook, this is where you will always know where you stand in this class by looking at the gradebook. And test preparation tabs. And then of course, the e-text tab. So that's it. That's the quick introduction, everything about the course, what you need to do to be successful in the course, as well as highlights of MyMathLab. So now you're ready to really get started. Work hard this semester, keep up with the work. If you're ever on campus during my office hours, stop by and say hi. Thanks for watching.